What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And we've got some late-breaking physical media news coming from our good friends over at Scream Factory. We've got the January announcements that I wanted to get into. And I'll just say this off the top. There's not a ton to talk about. So I don't think this is going to be a very lengthy video, especially not compared to like months past for Scream Factory. They really ramp things up for November, December. So I can understand completely having a little bit of a downer month. And also, January is usually pretty notoriously kind of a down month for Scream Factory, Shout Factory. But at least they've got 4Ks this year, because last year I think they only had Thinner and they had Jennifer 8. Was that the movie Funeral Home? They were all Blu-rays. They brought the Blu-ray collector's edition pack, and they didn't do any 4K. So at least they've got some 4Ks. We got new John Carpenter 4Ks. We've got a lot of vampires. We got vampire stuff to talk about, and another James Cameron involved film as well. That is actually a pretty cool announcement. So before we get into it, though, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media on this channel, guys. Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. If you like that kind of stuff, that kind of content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts about these announcements down below. So I like to make these supplemental videos, because I film the physical media report usually on Sunday, then stuff drops on Monday. So if it's an important announcement, I think, or it's a boutique label announcing some stuff, I like to cover it in a separate video for you guys. So I will, as always, I'll have this stuff linked down below. Now, I don't think it's available on Amazon yet. It might be, actually, because sometimes Amazon pre-orders for Scream Factory stuff goes up before the actual Scream Factory website. I'll check, but if it's not, I'll link the Scream Factory website down below. I do want to point out, if you order on the Scream Factory website, it might be a little bit more expensive, but you will get it a lot earlier than you will get it if you order it from Amazon. Hell, Amazon at this point, guys, it's like they can't even get you their stuff on the release date. So, maybe it's worth it to you to order it from the Scream Factory website, especially if it's a title you love, because you'll get it at least, like, in some cases, like a week and a half early, like something like that. Like, I've gotten stuff 2 weeks early from Scream Factory before. I got the Faculty pre-ordered. I got Silent and Deadly Night. So I cannot wait to get those in the mail for sure. But let's get into this stuff, guys. Let me stop wasting your time. I always waste your guys' time, and I apologize for that. We got vampires. We've got vampires coming to 4K, which makes perfect sense. It's John Carpenter. I guess they're going to wait to do In the Mouth of Madness. They're going to save that for the very last one, to do at least one the bigger John Carpenter films. They haven't done Memoirs of an Invisible Man and stuff like that, or Big Trouble in Little China as well. But that's a separate thing, because that's a Disney title, and I don't even know if that's still in print from Shout Factory right now. I doubt that it is, because it is a Fox title and also a Disney title. But Vampires, we are getting in 4K, guys, which is pretty cool. I like Vampires. It's got James Woods in it. One cool thing about Vampires, I think the style of it does really lend itself to a 4K. This is kind of a Western horror film. There were a lot of these movies around this time in the 80s and 90s that kind of fused like horror and Western, in particular with vampires. There was that Sundown Vampire and Retreat film with Bruce Campbell that actually got a Vestron release. So it's kind of a Western film, and Westerns always look really good in 4K. So I'm sure this is a movie that is going to look really fantastic on 4K, and it's got some great practical special effects as well, great makeup effects. So I'm sure all that stuff's going to look fantastic on 4K. They're giving it the premiere treatment because it is John Carpenter. We got a slipcover package right here with multiple slipcovers, and this is actually going for $39.98, which, like, I have to admit, I feel like that's a little bit lower than usual for this. So I got to call that out. This comes out on January the 21st as well, guys. I feel like they usually charge like 42, 43, like maybe 44 for these packages, but I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. This is an extra slipcover though, and you also get 2 posters with this as well. The artwork does look pretty freaking awesome. It looks pretty damn awesome. I like that artwork for sure. I don't know. I'm kind of debating on getting this. Like I said, I like vampires. I don't know if it's one that's, I don't know, because I got the Blu-ray. I don't know if I need to upgrade it like immediately. Like, I'll get it for sure eventually. I just don't know if this is one that I need to like pre-order and reserve my copy. But I don't know, maybe we'll see when January hits and what else is coming out, and I'll see if it's worth to upgrade when that comes out. But let's dig into the details here. But I do really like that alternative artwork. I just kind of have stopped getting those packages from Screen Factory at this point. But you got the John Carpenter Vampires Collector's Edition, 2 disc, 4K UHD Blu-ray with slipcover featuring original theatrical artwork, limited edition 18 by 10 rolled posters of the original theatrical art, and additional slipcover made exclusively for this promotion. So that slipcover is only on the Screen Factory website, and it's featuring new artwork from the CRP group. And we also got another exclusive poster for that artwork. On disc 1, you got the 4K UHD, new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, presented in Dolby Vision. We got audio here, English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and 2.0, and an audio commentary with director John Carpenter, which I imagine is an older commentary. Now, they're not calling out anything new here for this release. We've got Time to Kill Some Vampires interviews with director John Carpenter, producer Sandy King Carpenter, and cinematographer Gary B. Kibb. So all these are archival interviews, but I mean, you got interviews with John Carpenter here, so that's definitely cool. You got an interview with actor James Woods. I don't know when the Vampires Blu-ray came out from Screen Factory. It might have actually been a pretty old Screen Factory release, especially if they got an interview with John Carpenter, because I remember he was collaborating on some of the Screen Factory, his Screen Factory movies back in the day. So it might be like a 2013, 2014 Blu-ray when Vampires came out. You guys can correct me in the comments section. But you got an interview with actor Thomas Ian Griffith. You got an interview with special effects artist Greg Nicotero. Padre, an interview with actor Tim Guinea. Original making of featurette that was probably on the DVD back in the day. Theatrical trailer, TV spots, still gallery. So, I mean, this thing's stacked with special features, but you know, again, if you got the Blu-ray and maybe you don't care as much about just upgrading to 4K, I do always say, like, it is nice to have a couple of new features in there, maybe new audio commentary, just something to sweeten the pot for the people that are just kind of hard-nosed against upgrading everything from Screen Factory because, you know, maybe they don't care as much about the picture quality, but they want the new features for the package, which I totally get and I can totally respect. But again, I will say when you compare Screen Factory with the other boutique labels, I don't see Arrow upgrading to 4K and adding a bunch of new features. I don't see Criterion doing it. I don't see a lot of boutique labels doing that kind of stuff. Like Synapse doesn't do it. Screen Factory actually does. Like they're really, I feel like they're the only boutique label I really see doing it. So, I mean, you know, they didn't do it for Vampires, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's the special package right there. $39.98 comes out on January the 21st. If we back up here, we have the regular 4K edition for $35.99. See what I'm saying? Like this is only $4 cheaper, and you get the extra. It's like if you're gonna get it, like you might as well just get that extra slipcover with this release. It is a nice slipcover, but $35.99 just for the standard 4K. Now I will call out this will probably be $32.99 or $33.99 on Amazon when it gets officially announced. But yeah, the standalone edition, $35.99 for that. Go ahead and back out. Let's talk about Last Voyage of the Demeter. This is also getting a special edition release with a slipcover. It is nice to see because this is a Universal movie that came out a couple of years ago, and it came out just a Blu-ray, or maybe it was last year it came out actually. But it just got a Blu-ray release, and people are kind of like, I mean, I am too. People are fed up with Universal at this point, putting out the Blu-ray and then 6 months later doing the 4K. And they've done that so much. But what they've also done with movies like Freaky and also I think Upgrade is Universal as well, and the Happy Death Day movies is they'll put out collector's editions of those films within the Screen Factory line in their 4K. So they got some kind of deal going with Screen Factory to get some of the Universal newer titles from Universal. But what they did with those is they just put those out with no slipcover. I think they even called them collector's editions. No slipcover. I don't remember if they had new features or not. Maybe they had some new features on them, but they had no slipcovers or any kind of like treatment like that. So people were disappointed. I know that with Happy Death Day movies, like those could have had some awesome slipcovers with alternative artwork on it that people would have shelled out for. Like I think a lot more people would have bought those releases had they come in a nice package with nice slipcovers and all that kind of stuff. Same for Freaky and same for Upgrade as well. I still haven't got Upgrade. It might be a great disc on 4K. I'll get it eventually, but to be honest, if it doesn't have the slipcover on it, I'm not in any hurry because it's just the standard edition 4K. It's going to be the same if I bought it on release day versus now. And I love that movie, but I got the Blu-ray. I'll get the 4K eventually. Honestly, with that, I'm holding out for maybe a second sight release because they did the Blu-ray release back in the day. Maybe second sight will do a 4K upgrade at some point. But back to Last Voyage of the Demeter, guys. I get on these tangents sometimes. I'm very sorry. But this is a Universal movie, a movie that came out in 2023. I think it came out in August. I think the Blu-ray came out in like October, November. But it just got a Blu-ray release. That Blu-rays went down to like $8.99. It is now getting a 4K from Screen Factory. Now, I will give them a little bit of credit. It's a year and a month later that we're getting the 4K, and it's from a different, label, a Universal license that's out to Screen Factory, and it's getting the prestige treatment. It's got the slipcover. It's got the awesome, alternative slipcover artwork, which is really cool. That's a freaking awesome image right there of that kind of vampire attacking the ship. I'll be honest though, like I did not see this movie, and this is getting a special edition from Screen Factory. I don't know if I'm going to get this right away. I don't know. Maybe I will just because I don't have it in the collection, but I'm kind of tempted to just grab the regular Blu-ray for $8.99. And also the thing is that I was kind of hoping that Universal would just do it on 4K. That way I could pick it up for maybe like $15 when it dropped in price, because the Universal 4Ks, when they re-released Megan and Violent Night, like those are like $20, I think, when they came out, and then they quickly dropped to like 16 or $15. I was kind of hoping the same thing would happen with Last Voyage of the Demeter, but now that it's coming out with Screen Factory, I feel like we're going to get better quality, so that's definitely good. And I think there's some new features here, which we'll get into in a second. But if Universal would have done it, it would have went down to like 16 or $15. Now it's with Screen Factory. It's rarely going to drop below 30. So you got to pay a lot to get this movie on 4K now. Whereas if Universal would have done it, it would have been a little bit cheaper. So I definitely have that in mind as well. But this looks like a cool addition. I'm not hating on it for sure. And Screen Factory, like, they're going to get what they can get, and I'm sure this is going to sell pretty well on 4K. Also, at least I would think it was, because I honestly think that when the Last Voyage of the Demeter came out on Blu-ray, people were pretty wise to the Universal game. And I think I've heard from a lot of people like messaging me on Instagram. There's a lot of people that's held off on picking up that Blu-ray Last Voyage of the Meter that wanted it because they knew a 4K was coming, because they knew Universal's game. Now, will they spend $34, $36 to pick up the Screen Factor 4K? I don't know. But it is nice artwork. I will say that. I can compliment Screen Factory on that. And this comes out on January the 21st, $39.98 for the double slipcover package. And the same thing, guys, you get the 2-disc 4K Blu-ray set with the slipcover featuring original theatrical artwork. You got a new 4K presentation from the original Elements, presented in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, guys. I don't know if the Blu-ray has Dolby Atmos, but this has Dolby Atmos. That is definitely really cool. There's a new audio commentary here. There's another new audio commentary with the actor David Dastmalchian, who is from the actor from Late Night with the Devil. So that's pretty damn cool. And yeah, 2 new audio commentaries. You also got an audio commentary with director Andre Overdale. I keep forgetting he's the one that directed the movie. That's the guy that directed Autopsy of Jane Doe and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and the producer. So that's probably the commentary that's on the Blu-ray currently. And scrolling down to the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray here will be automatically be better than the Universal Blu-ray because it's going to be a 4K scan. 4K presentation from the original Elements, Dolby Atmos on the Blu-ray. You have the 2 new audio commentaries. Now this is kind of disappointing. You only have a new interview with the folklorist and author Dr. Karen Stoltz now. So I mean, like, that's the thing, guys. If you're gonna get this, like, try to get some new special features. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, maybe there's something with the deal with Universal, like they don't have access to the actors to come do interviews. I don't know. I don't get how the inner working, but it feels like if you're going to get this, it's a newer movie, you would have maybe worked out in your deal that you could have access to some of the actors, some of the people involved in making of the movie, to get some new special features on this release. Like, you would think that would be a part of the deal, but apparently it is not. So that's, a little shitty, I think. You got deleted scenes, alternate opening from the pits of hell. So I imagine all this stuff is from the already released Blu-ray right there. So you got the new special feature and you got the two new audio commentaries. There's some good stuff here, guys. And I think a lot of people would want this, that just want this in 4K, because I've heard that the movie visually looks really good. And another thing to point out, guys, is this is Screen Factory, so they'll likely have this on a 100 GB disc, whereas if Universal did it, might have been 66. So I think that that's worth noting as well. But yeah, Last Voyage of the Demeter. What do you guys think about this coming to 4K from Screen Factory? Personally, I would have rather have seen Universal just do it so I could get it for a cheaper price. But Screen Factory's doing it and they're doing it up big with a collector's edition. So what are you going to do? There's a regular release for $35.99 right there. You can back up. And we also got another Shaw Brothers Classics. This is volume 5. This is coming out on January the 14th for $139.99. So if you're into the Kung Fu stuff, guys, this has got 1, 2, Rape of the Sword. Oh my goodness. The Fastest Sword, Twin Blades of Doom. It's got 6. And it looks like it's got 11 films on this. And they always do these up big, guys. Shout Factor does a great job on these new audio commentaries, new features. It looks like for almost every single one of these movies. Like, that is actually kind of incredible, guys. How these all have like new, at least one new feature. They all got multiple audio commentaries. Like, that's a lot of work that's put into this release right here. So if you're into this stuff, like this definitely seems worth it. Like 11 films, all with their own discs and audio commentaries, like for $139.99. Definitely some cool stuff there. And let's go over. We also have Sanctum. This is I guess another underwater creature feature movie in the vein of The Abyss and Deep Star 6 and also Leviathan. So this is a movie. When did this come out? This came out in 2011, so this is fairly new. Did this one have who did this one have in it? I feel like I remember when this movie came out. Um, from executive producer James Cameron, Avatar Aliens comes a thrilling underwater adventure based on true events. Okay, yeah, I think I do remember when this movie came out, but I never saw this. So this is available. This is just a regular edition, no slipcover, nothing like that. 2 discs, 4K and Blu-ray. It's coming out on January the 7th for $31.99. And you have a new audio commentary there. Yeah, on both discs. You have it on the 4K and you have it on the Blu-ray. It's presented in Dolby Vision, 5.1 and 2.0. And yeah, let me know if you're excited for Sanctum. I don't really know too much about Sanctum, but sure, I might check that out at some point. All right, let's back up. And I think that's all we got. There's this movie right here. I think Screen Factory dropped some exclusives to the website. We got Formosa Betray. This got James Vanderbeek in it. It's saying there's only 25 left in stock. I think these are available now. We also have Model House. I don't know why that looks like Cher on the cover right there, but this is like a newer movie. And yeah, it's up on the Screen Factory website for $27.99. We'll back up, and we also have Pierre's Bounty, and this is available now for $27.99. That came out in 2009, guys. So there you have it. That's the Screen Factory news. What do you guys think? What do you think about Last Voyage of the Demeter? I'm having a lot of trouble saying that tonight, guys. What are you guys thinking of Vampires on 4K? January, the month of the vampire film from Screen Factory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.